Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're doing another coaching session for Raging Cajunification, Arcane X. So thank you very much for the donation. As always, I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be looking at a Janna, I believe, Silver 3 Janna game. Okay. So the first thing that I notice here is good control wards. You've got 4. Try to see if you can get to 10. I know that 10 is quite a lot. But you really want to shut out vision. I'll show you some places where you could be doing that in a game. It's crucial that you shut out vision so that you can control objectives. And like I said, I'll show you some ways to do that when we look at the replay itself. Oh, and just as an aside, before I forget, if you're just watching this, you can look in the description and skip straight to the game if you want, or to the post-game chat. You'll also find a link to the Google Doc itself in the description if you want to follow along. And then if you would like a coaching session yourself, just email me. We can set that up at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. It's just $20 and you'll get the same thing that you see here. If you want to see more coaching session games, I've got the playlist linked here. Or if you want to see in-depth coaching guides, including a Janna guide, then you can click there. Or not coaching guides, champion guides, including the Janna guide. Then you can click on that link there. Okay, so try to get a few more control wards. I'm not sure if this is like the wrong like page or something. Maybe you like accidentally queued up with the wrong page or something. If this is, I would definitely recommend some different runes. I'll put it that way. I mean, Janna primarily benefits from AP and just defensive stats in lane. She's not going to be aggressive. She's not going to be that powerful typically. You can sneak in some auto attacks every now and then. But in general, these are the runes that I recommend. So armor reds, health yellows, AP blues, and AP quints. And I don't know, like, you may not have these runes also, but this is what you want to try to shoot for. If you don't have the health yellows, the armors are fine. These are a lot cheaper. I understand IP's hard to come by for a lot of people, so that's fine. But I would definitely, if you can, for the blues, try to transition over to AP, especially against a Recon. You don't really need magic resist there. And the attack speed, I would highly recommend going for flat AP with that. But if you don't have flat AP, armor is also acceptable. Move speed, less so, but move speed is okay if you have that. But any of those 3 is going to be better than attack speed, because you're not going to be building, like, you don't have any on-hit interactions. You're not going to be attacking that fast in lane typically. So just try to make it the AP or the armor. Alright, recommended masteries. I would go for runic armor. You're going to be shielding yourself a decent amount as the game goes on, and this also increases your passive healing, so just your natural healing per 5 that you get, it increases it. So the fact that you shouldn't really be going all in and taking massive hits early on to me means that veteran scars is probably not going to be worth it, and you don't have any scaling with plus healing in your kit anywhere, so there's not really too much benefit to that. I mean, if they had a super all-in early game comp and you were very scared, like maybe if they have like a Leona Draven or something, you could potentially get it. But I mean, their all-in's okay early on, but I don't think it's so strong that you have to get Veteran Scar. I would highly recommend just going Runic Armor instead. Good build overall. I do like the Redemption. I do like the Ardent Sensor. I do like the Redemption. Oasis, that's all good. Zeke's is a little counterintuitive for Janna for several reasons. First, usually as a Zeke's user, you want to be able to hold people still so that your AD carry can hit them. Like, that's a big thing. And with Janna having to press ultimate, it's going to blow people away potentially from your AD carry. Excuse me. So you can walk forward and like flash ult and blow people back into your AD carry, but generally that's not a good use of the ultimate in most situations. You could get your AD carry killed doing that. You want to use it primarily to peel, and if you're peeling, then that means they're gonna not be in range of the Zeeks as much as they need to be. So it's got a lot of anti-synergy there. Also, with most Zeeks users, you want to have that near the very start of a fight, just so you can kill people as fast as possible and start gaining an advantage in the fight. Whereas with Janna, you typically want to hold your ult until after they commit resources. So until after they already use their jumps and some of their damage abilities on some of your allies. Then you ult, knock everyone back, reset the fight, and refresh everything. So I think that it doesn't have a lot of synergy. I mean, I've thought about it myself for boosting up your AD carry. if they're really fed. But overall, I think it just doesn't have enough synergy. I'd highly recommend just going Mikhail's instead. That way you can cleanse off Recon stuns, or charms rather. Or if you want, you could also just go like Athene's Unholy Grail just for bigger heals and shields. Is also perfectly acceptable. But yeah, I would shy away. Also, you don't need these stats. Like, it doesn't have any plus healing on it. It doesn't have any AP. You shouldn't be getting hit that much. So, you know, the armor and magic resist shouldn't matter that much. You usually don't have mana problems, so the mana regen or the flat mana is not going to matter. They don't have any, like, really unavoidable AD damage. Like, maybe if they had a Zed or something and he was really fed and you're just like, you know what, I have to have an armor item because they just keep blowing me up. I can't shield through it. I have to have armor. Then maybe you could consider going something like that. But in this circumstance, I just feel like either Mikhail's or Athene's would probably be better there. Okay, and let's go ahead and jump to the pregame. So overall, pretty good, pretty good. Pregame, I think the lanes are similarly matched. I don't really see a major advantage for any one person over another, just from a theoretical level here. They're probably going to have a slight edge on you early on, potentially, but not really that much. It's probably just going to be a farm off, would be my guess. See if you can push the wave in, farm, and then help your Kha'Zix invade the Lee Sin, potentially, at his second blue, or see if you can sneak a dragon really early. Kha'Zix does dragons very well, especially if he's shielded by Janna. So if you see Lee Sin go top, don't hesitate to just push in your lane and just go grab a dragon really quick. See if you can keep pinks around there and just really secure the dragons, because Kha'Zix can do it quickly. You know, Kha'Zix could even jump over the pit and just do it like sneaky from the backside of the pit. If you drop a pink in there for him to make sure it's not warded, then you can heal him from the other side of the pit, or put a shield on him from the other side of the pit. If you just like disappear, you know, and just throw 2 shields on him and then go back to lane, sometimes that's enough for him to get it. So I think that that is probably the best way you're going to get an advantage early on, is to try to really gain some early dragons. Otherwise, it's just going to be a farm off and you don't have a lot of kill pressure in your lane. Unless, I mean, if Kha'Zix shows up, you might be able to kill him in a 3v2, but 2v2, there probably is not going to be a lot of killing. Maybe. But Ezreal is so weak early on, and so is Janna. It's just hard to imagine that's going to happen. But maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So yeah, just farm up. See if you can threaten Dragon or Baron or Blue buff. Try to play around Yasuo or Kazan if they get really fed. Kha'Zix, rather. If they get really fed, just, you know, use your shields, peel, run around with them, try to make plays. It is possible for Ezreal to go off and have a really good game. If he's going off, obviously stick with him, but Yasuo and Kha'Zix are also potential win conditions if they get ahead early. And just be careful for Lee Sin ganks early. Lee is a renowned early game ganker, so Ezreal is a very safe champion in theory, and so is Janna, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But just keep that in mind. You always have to be a little cautious about Lee Sin, because he has very creative gank casts. He can get around your wards pretty easily if he's smart. Especially before you get a Sightstone, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. And as usual, I will write down some notes. I think I'm pretty sure that I've done at least one other coaching video for you, so you probably know the drill. But I will write down some notes, and we'll bring it all together at the end and try to get you some good tips, help you gain some more elo. All right, so let me see here. Fresh page. Okay, let's do this. And thank you so much for your patience, by the way, as well. I know you submitted this a few days ago. Oh, hold on. Let me turn that down. I'm going to pause it real quick and just turn the sound on. I think I accidentally had League muted here. Mixer. Yes, there we go. And I'm going to close my door really quick. I think my wife is feeding my daughter. Sometimes she gets a little rowdy. Rowdy Rory. When she's getting her feed. Getting her feed on. A little feeding frenzy going on in there. Okay. And we're back. Alright, let's go ahead and cue this up. I wouldn't invade. You don't really have any crowd control. I don't think they'll invade. They might, but I would just play it defensively. 30 seconds I would stand down here or ward this. Just get vision on this. Just watch the entrances. I mean, there is some merit to clumping up like that in case they invade, but I would much rather them just not sneak around on me. Alright, good. Okay, you know Lee's gonna go top, because he probably started blue, because you're on blue side, so... Okay, good, throwing a couple shields on there. I would get Tornado and push this lane up, and just keep pushing him in a tower if you can. You gotta be a little careful of Lee, but you know he's not gonna be down here until like 4 minutes into the game. Okay, good shield. Yeah, auto-attack these minions here. Auto the minions. Once you get level 2, push it up. Now, they're going to hit level 2 first. Once they kill that, it's going to be level 2, so you need to watch out. I know that because once they kill all of the melee minions on the second wave, that's level 2. So that's something you need to be very, very aware of. They didn't really leverage that, but they could have gone aggressive there if they wanted to. Like, he could dash in, auto, Q, auto, and Recon, you know, could, like, W somebody and Q them. And it could be really rough there. But they didn't really take advantage of that. Okay, good. Try, as the wave comes in, try, like, a full charge Tornado in the middle of the lane and just have it run straight up and just push all of these. That'll help push the wave a little bit more. Like, you know Lee's not going to be here yet. He's on the top side of the map. Here, I'll take off the... There we go. But you know he's not going to be here, most likely. He would have already ganked if he was going to. We know he didn't invade red because Kha'Zix started red. Yeah, and you see him top lane now. Is he going to get a kill on little Teemo? No. Get it out. This looks bad. Well, maybe not. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Jeez. It's greedy. Oh, they got him, though. Okay. So yeah, just gonna be a farm off. Like I said, I would do a full charge Tornado and try to just spin it into the waves as they come in early on. A little quick Tornado like that's not gonna do too much. But a full charge one can do like a third of the damage to these minions early on and just help you make sure you don't get pushed in a tower. We're going to speed this up. Oh, I can drop that down a little bit. No spoilers for people here. Let's farm under tower. You still don't know where Lee is. He could be probably anywhere. He could potentially be bot side, but they're not going to... You've got it kind of held here in a pretty good spot. There you go. I mean, that was a decent charge, but you want to do that into the minion wave. Push it up. I mean, this position is fine. This is actually probably ideal, because Lee can't really gank you in this. And, you're not getting pushed in a tower, so you're not losing minions to tower. How are we looking CS-wise? Hey, you're actually up CS. Yeah, that's fine. If you have your shield on him, you want to stand back. If you go forward, it needs to be to put your shield on yourself and to attack, which I don't really recommend that tactic here. I just don't think you guys have any kill pressure on him, so there's not really much of a point to get aggressive with him. Yeah, it was bad. Ezreal lost his mind. Okay, there's Lee. He just popped his head over there. So you know Lee's top side, so you're probably pushing here just back, I think. I mean, Kha'Zix is coming in. This seems really weird. What is... No, you need to ping him back. Like, what are y'all gonna do? He's just wasting time. He's gonna try to sit in this bush, it's warded. No, you just ping him back. I mean, y'all could, if you see Lee top lane, which he was top a second ago, but I don't know where he is now. Yeah, I would ping him back earlier and just tell him it's warded. Y'all could make a play on Dragon. I would at least get Scuttle or something. You need to back. Like, after you push it in, your team needs to back, because Ezreal, like, needs a tier very early. He's out of mana. And really, you want to get that tier. Like, ideally, what you want to do with Ezreal is he gets the tier, and then just, like, pushes them really, really hard over and over and over again with tier, and you want to delay them from getting that BF sword as long as you possibly can. Because that's when Ezreal is weakest, is when he has tier and the enemy has a BF sword. But y'all have given the Lucian a free back by not pushing. Which, if you tornado, it helps him push so much. Like a full charge tornado, not a little one like that. You want to full charge it and keep him pinned in the tower. Okay, there's Lee. Just back, just back, just back. What does he have? Yeah, he's got a BF sword, so this is what I was just talking about. It's going to be bad. Because now Ezreal's going to come back with probably a tier. Yep, tier pick. So Lucian can slaughter you guys right now if he wants to. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put that down. Push wave with full tornado more. Back early. 4 easy. Don't let Lucian back. That's really how you want to play the lane. You want to push it up, go get that tier as soon as he gets to 700 gold immediately. Yeah, it's bad, it's bad. What did you buy on your back? Sightstone. Yeah, I mean, he should have been playing more safer. But because they got the first back on you, because Rakan got to back before you did, that means that they got to go over here and make that play before you got a Sightstone. So if you backed earlier, you could have at least had a control ward to put in this push. Is this guy still question marking you? God, dude. Kids are so annoying. Alright. Some kids, not all kids. Okay, that was a good kill. But yeah, the timing is very important there, where you needed to get the tier on Ezreal, and then stop Lucian from backing so he can't get the BF sword until you go back, and then you get your Sheen. Now, if you have Sheen plus tier, then you can kind of keep up with a BF sword. But Lucian, like, Ezreal's itemization path is just very weird. Oh no. What are you going for? What do you have? Yep. Okay. Oh. Well, you traded back, I suppose. What?
It's a thermometer. She feels sweaty.
Alright. Let me just go back and see that. My wife came in here and she was fiddling around with some stuff. Let me just see what happened there. Okay, so you see Akali, so y'all need to leave, like, now. Right now. Get out, get out, get out. Run, 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 run. Yeah, you need to interrupt him. Let me see. Did you have a tornado up? Or did you use it? Okay, you've got tornado in 3 seconds. Tornado. Yeah, you should have tornadoed him. Or if you're going to exhaust, you need to exhaust when he tries to connect with his Q. This is why, in general, you want to hold on to your tornado unless you are using it for, like, a full wave clear. You just want to hold it, just in case Lee shows up and you can blow him away. But, okay. We'll go ahead and speed it back up here. What'd you get? Finish coin? Okay, good. The aces looking good. Now you can kind of hang with Lucian, sort of, kind of, but not... I don't know. You still can't really fight. Like, Ezreal needs Sheen. Sheen is when Ezreal starts doing damage. Okay, ward this. Ward over this wall. Yeah, you need to get out of this habit of just using your tornado just because. Just to deal a little bit of damage. Like, you want to hold on to that to specifically stop engages. Like, you can stop Akali from jumping in. You can even stop Rakan from going in with his W. So if he's walking up looking like he wants to engage with his W, you can tornado and knock him out of that. You have to be a little bit faster with it, but I think it's worth it to try to be faster. Yeah. So you use your tornado there, so like, if Akali comes rolling up out of this bush here, or Rakan decides to W onto you, you don't have it. Like, the only time you should throw a random tornado just to knock people up like that is if you are actively in an all-in fight. And you need to delay them for that extra little bit. There you go. So that was a good one, if you hit them with that. But just like, on small trades, you don't want to be throwing your tornado. It also costs a lot of mana, so it's going to run you out of mana. Like, you're pretty low. So I'll say, don't tornado or small trades. Save for movement. So yeah, you want to save it for when they're doing movement stuff. Okay. You see everyone middle, yeah, you got it. Just keep pushing. See, if you had pushed a lot more early, if you kept pushing them in a tower, you would have had this tower already also. There you go. Well, that was the right idea. A little bit late on it, but that's the right idea. Is to tornado him when he goes in for his W. It's really fast, so it can be hard to get. Because if he already gets there to where he's going to knock up, then he's going to knock up. You have to get him while he's on his way. How are their items looking? That's a bizarre item on Lucian, but... yeah, he's dead. Wait, why were you so far back? Did we see Akali or something? Okay, you see Lee. That's too far back. That's way too far back, I think. Like, I know you're scared of... do we know Akali's in the jungle yet? Okay, we know Lee is there. We don't see Akali. Yeah, you need to stand close to him. Yeah, he's up doing stupid stuff. But if you were closer, you could have ulted and blown him back to save him. So yeah, I mean, you're right. You should have backed. Like, Ezreal should have backed. Your whole team should have backed. But because he's up there, I think you need to be closer to him and just, like, wait until he can back. Because you should be able to get out of that as Janna if you ult. So you died with your ult. And I think that you could have... I think you could have saved him if you were there, so just stick closer to him. Even though it's the wrong call, you know, you all should back there because you see Lee. Actually, I'm not sure if you should back there, because that basically gives, if they see you back, that gives them a free dragon. So I think you just have to tough it out and just try to farm that and just play more cautiously. But still stay. Alright, y'all should be able to get this bot tower. Rakan's top. There's nothing else to get bottom, though, unfortunately. If you had taken the tower earlier, then you could have probably contested that dragon a little better. But, yeah, just keep pushing. Rakan's top. You need a ward over here. Ward here. Do you have wards? Yeah, you got 2 wards. You need to ward over here. Yeah, there you go. Y'all need to back up after this wave. No, 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 back up, back up. They could collapse on you. Yeah, go over to middle, see if you can help them hold that. Be very careful here. Like, Lee could come rolling out of somewhere in here. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, I mean, I guess it worked out. Yeah, they were really late on the rotation. Okay, good play. Tornado him when he tries to go in. Like, you should want to try to bait this Lee Sin. Like, stay in range, wait for him to go on you with his Q, and then you tornado and knock him out of the air, and then he's dead. So practice going against the Lee Sin Q where you tornado him out of the air. That's one of the greatest things with Janna, because Lee Sin's very popular, and you just completely hose Lee Sin, and you could bait him into dying a lot as Janna. Because people will say, oh, if I just Q, I can kill this Janna right now. And then they try to go in. You Q them. And get out. Yeah, you should be okay. I don't know what he's doing. It's an interesting place to put 3 eggs. Stay back, stay back. Yeah, don't get close enough. You need to transition now into, like, your autos aren't going to really do anything. So, like, that's the thing, is, like, you did get a kill with your ult earlier, but you didn't get to use the peel or the heal at all. Like, you just got to bump Vlad back. I mean, you guys did get 2 kills on it. But that means you don't have it, like, now. You're about to get it back, though. Overall, it's a good play. It just felt like it was super risky. Yeah, you didn't have it there. If you had your ult there, you would have saved 2 or 3 people. But Kha'Zix and Yasuo are cleaning it up. I mean, this is a good win condition. This is what I was talking about, where if those 2 get fed, that's probably who's going to carry this game. So you want to play around them. Alright, what you got? Ardent Sensor. Okay, it's pretty good. I mean, the thing is, Ezreal's not fed at all, but Ardent Sensor is good on Yasuo and Kha'Zix. I think Redemption would have also been acceptable here, because these fights are dragging out a little bit. That gives you more global pressure. For Yasuo if he wants to go into a side lane. Semi-global, I mean, you could cast Redemption from, like, you know, halfway down the river to hit bot lane. You don't really need Redemption, or not. Redemption would be good. You don't really need Mikhail's here. They don't have much crowd control. Maybe it's like a final item. But yeah, I mean, Ardent Sensor's still pretty good. W him, W him. Like, when he does that, you need to W him immediately to slow him down, and then just punish him. Just have your team beat him up. I don't know about that. Oh, Yasi. Yeah, you need more ward control around here. Y'all have been sitting here like A-ramming middle for a long time. If you just had a pink like here, or locking out their vision, you could probably make some plays on them a little bit easier. Especially on this patch 7.14 that's coming out right now with Duskblade and the importance of getting out of vision. You know, if your Kha'Zix has Duskblade and you're hanging out here and you clear the vision, that's a lot of extra burst damage. So you really, really need to get in the habit of denying vision. And it's going to help out all of those Duskblade users. They're going to be in this bush, so... Maybe not. I thought at least one of them would be. No, it's too close. It's too close. Don't use your tornado like that to try to engage. You need to say. You need to hold it. If you're gonna do anything to try to engage, use your W to slow them. But you don't really want to use that tornado offensively. There you go. That was good. So yeah, you can charge it up and wave clear if you want, but that does put it on cooldown. Oh, okay, good. I don't know. This Recon is causing a lot of problems with his charm. Like, Mikhail's may not be a horrible idea. Looks like Yasuo's probably going to go off here. Yeah. So now it's just all time, keep Yasuo alive. Like, that's what the game plan is here. Alright, what you got? Whoa, what?
Shut down.
What happened over here? Oh, he's trying to steal the red. Got red baited. Yeah, it's almost certainly warded. If I had to guess, this is probably warded. This might be warded. That's not, obviously, but... Oh, I see. Just, if he wants to do that, just let him do that and die. Like, don't worry about going in there, because this is almost certainly warded. Let me see. Okay, well, they just warded that. Lee just saw you rotating, I guess. Okay, good. Yeah, Redemption's a good buy. Okay, good Redemption. And good Tornado. You almost stopped him from connecting. Yeah, it's a good ult. Y'all need Yasuo, though. Like, you need to tell your team not to fight. Like, just ping him back. Like, if your team doesn't have Yasuo, they just can't fight. Because he has all of your gold. He has 10 of your kills. So your team's just going to lose every fight that doesn't have Yasuo. Probably. Kha'Zix is, like, alright in terms of power level right now, but... What you got? You need mobility boots. So you can rotate faster. Yeah, let's go down here and get this dragon. You need to ward here, not here. This is too shallow. You don't have any vision of this walkway. That's not going to be enough notice. So you need to ward right here. Yeah, it's not going to see them in this bush, but typically they run through the bush anyways and come down here to fight. You need to see them when they're here. It gives you much more notice when they're walking around. Much more vision coverage. Pretty good. Exhaust. Exhaust. Alright, inhibitor, bottom, top. Top's fine. Top has a slightly bigger wave. No. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out. Get out. They have baroned up minions. They're all about to spawn. Like, I mean, they don't have a lot of crowd control, fortunately, because Rakan's ult's going to be on cooldown for another, like, 20 seconds at least, probably. You have redemption or anything? This feels bad. Yeah, you need to be pinging your people to get out of there and, like, go get this tower. Go get bot tower. Guys, they're gonna spawn, like...
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, with the ult. I mean, you did get 2 towers, which is good. It's just extremely risky, like... They could have cleaned you guys up earlier. Y'all aren't gonna get this Nexus. Yeah, stand close to them. Just remember that, you know, they get movement speed when they're walking towards you. So when you're running away, you always want a position where you're, like, straight ahead of people. No, run. Jesus. This is a clown fiesta and a half. Well, I mean, I guess it's gonna work, probably. You're probably just gonna ARAM your way to victory. No, 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 do not be that close. Do not be that close. Back up, back up. He's gonna, like, one-shot you. Alright. Like, I don't know. It seems like that's a good exchange, right? Like, y'all got some damage on the Nexus towers, you got some of these, but you gave them a lot of kills. Like, you all got a lot of kills too, but you're the team that's ahead. Like, one thing to keep in mind is that when you're ahead, you do not want to trade. You want to put that death grip on them. Don't give them any hope. No hope. Because that gets them back into the game. Because it gives them psychological hope that they're actually getting kills. And it also gets them back into the game in terms of gold. They get shut down gold, and they get to catch up to you in terms of items. Typically, each item beyond the first matters less overall, because it's less of a percentage increase in power spike. So when you get your very first item, you know, that's like your biggest power spike in the game a lot of times. It depends on which items you buy, but... Just think of it this way, like percentage-wise, right? If you get 100 AD on each item, just really, really rough math, but let's say you get 100 AD on each item, your first item, and you start off with 0, your first item is a 100% increase. Maybe you start with 1, just so it ends up to be a 100% increase. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. It's a 100% increase in power. But your second one, because you're going from 100 to 200, is only a 50% increase in power. Your third one's 33%, and your fourth one is 25% increase in power. So what this means is that when you're ahead, and your team is completing their fourth item, if you give them a chance to complete their third item, that's often better for them, because them completing that third item is going to be more powerful than you completing your fourth item. Once again, that's not always the case, depending on the itemization, but when you are ahead, you do not want them to trade, because it gets them back into the game. Just think of it percentage-wise in terms of gold. Like, before this Fiesta started, maybe your team was up 10% total gold. And now that you've been breaking even for the last 5 or 10 minutes, then your team is all of a sudden only up. Here, I'll just actually do the math right now. Let me see. Okay, that's going to be it, right? Okay. So let's see when that Clown Fiesta starts. Let's just look at total gold here for teams. Okay. So this is where y'all should back up and go kill one of these sidelines. Alright, so let's mark this down. In terms of team gold. Alright, so your team has 48.2. Their team has 43.4. Alright, now at the end of the Fiesta, let's move it up a little bit more. Okay. So now your team has 59.8. Their team has 52.6. Alright, so let's go ahead and math that out really quick, and that'll be the end of the video here in a second, once we bring all of our tips together. So you had what, 48.2 plus 43.4 equals a total of 91.6. And then you have 48.2 divided by 91.6 equals. Okay, so your team had 52.6% of the total gold in the game. All right, and let's look at the final one, which was 59.8 plus 52.6 equals 112.4. Now if we look at 59.8 divided by 112.4. Well, you actually did gain. You did gain. So my theory blew up there. You actually did get enough to gain an extra percentage there. But, so you did gain about 0.6%. However, I'm still going to say that if your team had backed up and killed, like, got side lane pressure, it would have just been so much less risky, right? So if you just back up, you get top lane, or you just go down to bot lane, get that tower, and then just start sieging another part of the map, it would have been a lot better. If they had executed a bit better, then they could have won. If you think about, like, they're in their base, they all spawn there, they all can step onto the fountain and heal. I think the only reason that y'all won that Fiesta was because you were up so much gold over time. So I guess you did gain marginally there. So let's see, yeah, you gained like 9,000 something, and they gained 9,000 something. How does that work? Is my math just wonky? 2% of the whole thing. I don't know. Anyways, just trust me. In theory, everyone will tell you that if you are ahead, you do not want to trade, because it gets them back into the game. You want to completely shut them out. Close that game out. Okay, so let's talk about some stuff you can complete here at the end, or just some stuff you can work on that would work. Okay, so I think that push wave early with full charge Q. And remember, that's going to help Ezreal back earlier. And he needs to back as soon as he gets 700 for tier. He needs to be out of there. Alright, and get it. And then you come back in. So once again, this will deny some gold also to Lucian, because he has to last hit under tower, and the tower will take some incremental damage, so you're more likely to get first tower kill, which can lead to first dragon kill and all that stuff. So it's really good to push in, as long as you can do it safely. I think Easy and Janna can do it safely. But you also keep Lucian off of that BF sword, because when he comes back with that BF and you have a tier, that's really, really bad. You want to make sure that your Ezreal ideally has a tier plus Sheen before he comes back. So, or before Lucian comes back with the BF. So you want, this will enable you to have Easy get that tier stacking early, and you should be able to get back to lane and deny, or have Easy get the tier stacking, get back to lane, and deny Lucian from going back to get a BF. Or if he wants to do that, he's going to lose. He's going to pay a price of at least a wave and a half in the tower if he does that. Try to avoid. Try to avoid Q for small trades. So I saw you doing that a lot throughout the game, where you're just like, just throw in that Q just for a little bit of extra damage. You really don't want to do that, because you need to save it if they're going to jump onto you. The Lee jumped onto you and killed you in lane because your Q was down, and there's a couple other times where if your Q had been up, you might have been able to prevent people from dying. You really only want to use that Q if you're in an all-in fight, if you're decisively winning the fight and you just need to delay them a little bit. And you're going to kill them, then you can Q. But you don't just want to walk up and throw a Q at somebody. Because a lot of times it's just not going to do that much. And it costs a lot of mana. I mean, the Q costs, I think, like 80 or 90 mana at level 1. It's very, very expensive. So you can actually run out of mana if you do that as Janna, which is very rare. I mean, one of the great things about Janna is she just doesn't run out of mana because she's reactive a lot of the time. She doesn't, like, proactively use poke. So she doesn't have as many mana problems as some of the other enchanters. Okay, so the other one is Shot Call with more authority. Try to stop the Fiesta. A big part of why you all won is because the Yasuo ended up being like 12-4 or something in that particular game. And you did a very good job of playing around him. But it was, like I said, really risky. I guess percentage-wise, it did work out. You did end up gaining more gold. But there are so many ways that could have gone wrong and backfired on you. And if they killed you there, they would have stopped your momentum. They could have got the inhibitor back, and then they could have maybe had a decent fight around Baron. So yeah, you just needed to stop them after the inhibitor and just have them go kill a side lane, either top lane or bot lane, doesn't matter. Somebody pinged it. I'm not sure which one of you pinged it, but somebody pinged to go there, and people just stopped listening. So try to ping, try to get them to do that as much as you possibly can. So I want you to try to position further back during team fights as well. There were some times you'd go really far forward to try to land a Q on somebody or like an auto attack or something like that. You really don't want to do that, Janna. You want to be hanging out in the back. You can auto attack people that are trying to dive your AD carry in between spells, but you don't want to be on the front line auto attacking because you're going to get hit with incidental damage. So for instance, if you're standing there on that front line, you just might get hit with a Vlad ult. You might get hit by a Lee Sin kick. You might just get hit by all this random stuff. Lucian Qs. You're going to get hit by all this random stuff. Like, if someone wants to go on you and try to kill you as support, you want them to commit fully to you and to not use stuff on other people. So you don't want to take incidental area of effect damage. So that's why you want to stand on the back line. You're not going to contribute that much damage to the fight going up there and auto-attacking. Like, your biggest contribution is to stand in the back and just peel and shield. This also lets people kite better because remember, Janna gives 8% movement speed to people moving towards her. So if you're in the back behind people and they need to kite backwards or they need to try to run away, then you give them that movement speed to help them out. So Janna is really designed to hang out in the back, shield, peel, protect. So once again, you can attack people that are attacking your AD carry on the back line. That's fine, but you just don't need to be up there at the front line doing stuff. And I think that's about it. We already talked about the Zeeks, placing more control wards. I tried to show you some places where you could ward in there, especially now that Duskblade's going to be online. If your team has a bunch of Duskblades, which they probably will, it's going to be very, very important that you shut out vision with control wards. So lots and lots of control wards, because if they don't see people, that's going to translate into a ton of damage. So you need to make sure you shut out that vision. Okay, well, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I really appreciate your viewership and your patronage. You've been a wonderful fellow for the channel. Enjoyed having you here. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day.